Folks, it's Friday the 13th. It's spooky. You know what's really spooky? Like I said, global jihad. So, it's the day of global jihad, apparently. And the only reason why I'm talking about this is because, one, nobody told me. Nobody warned me. But also, two, I have normies who are, legitimately afraid. Because, listen, I like keeping my finger on the pulse. And obviously, a lot of my closest Jewish friends are, longtime anti-Zionist, but I like hearing from my normie Jewish friends in America, and the ones that have not been activists for pretty much their entire lives that I've talked to. They heard about the global jihad, and they're are kind of afraid. Normies freaking out reminds me of 9/11 and other kids being taken out of class in the fucking suburbs because they flew a plane into our school. Like they're gonna fly in case they flew a plane. Yeah. I'm an American pro-Palestine Jew, not afraid of jihad, but I know people who are acting as post 9/11. Every brown person is a terrorist. Yeah. American Jews are understandably afraid of anti-Semitism, because anti-Semitism is a constant. This is something we've talked about quite a bit, except it has historically not been dealt like anti-Semitic violence or anti-Semitic actions. Oftentimes in the Western world is not dealt by Muslims. It's dealt by white supremacists. It is always like a almost silly fear to be like, oh no, it's the spooky Muslims are gonna come for us. It's like, no, brother, it's not the Muslims. It's the same motherfuckers who are like, we need to wipe out Gaza right now, brother, but also simultaneously are white supremacists. Yeah, there's plenty of people who are anti-occupation in Israel as well, which I don't know. I feel like, God. I don't have a good assessment of the situation. It's just that I do feel as though the Israeli government's policy has been whatever. Israelis are gonna feel some type of way regardless. Let's just do a full tilt effort propaganda on the Western world so that we can get everyone else on the Western world on board. Because America still has there are still, of course, wonderful people that I have on the broadcast that I rely on for my coverage, both in Israel, but also in America, like American Jews, like the Jewish Voice for Peace, If Not Now, and many other organizations, right? And then you have Israeli organizations like B'Tselem. This is what guides my reporting on this issue. But it's I don't know if in Germany, Jewish people should be more afraid of the AfD than they are of Muslims. You know what I mean? Israel maintaining support from the U.S. is more important than Israel maintaining support domestically. Yeah. Except not necessarily, because inevitably Israel's internal issues are going to cause a collapse. And it has already. And obviously you can't continue an occupation and also consistently go further and further to the right, further and further to the right internally with your internal politics and lean in on the more radical elements and legitimize their existence because you want to continue the maintenance of a Jewish ethno-state. The more you do that, the more liberal Jews are going to get fucking mad at you, which happened already. I feel like we've forgotten about it. I'm Israeli. I feel like I'm going insane. My family's completely unhinged. I'm scared of voicing any opinions. They think I'm a traitor for suggesting let's not kill them all. Yeah, a bunch of my Jewish friends have reached out to me in the last couple of days being like, dude, I can't have any discussions right now with anybody. And these are Jews in America. We're like, no, everyone is like, I get you, but it's time. It's time to fucking level Gaza. Here's what Sarah Sidner said, by the way. This is the latest update from yesterday on the decapitated baby story. Yesterday, the Israeli Prime Minister's office said that it had confirmed Hamas beheaded babies and children while we were live on the air. The Israeli government now says it cannot confirm babies were beheaded. I needed to be more careful with my words, and I am sorry. The words I used were the Prime Minister's office must have proof. If they are confirming this, then the President Biden confirmed seeing it and then backtracked. And then they posted photos. I don't even know what the latest is at this point. She's doubling down, apparently. I would argue we were misled. I'm going to report on what the heads of government say. That is what news orgs do. Are you fucking nuts? That is not what news organizations do. You are not the mouthpiece. What? Okay, I'm sorry, dude. But this is completely out of fucking control. This is a prominent member of the media saying, my job as the media is to take the government's word at face value. You have betrayed your responsibilities as a journalist. Oh my fucking God, dude. If that is literally what your job is as a journalist, then you are no journalist. You are a press secretary for the government. This is an entirely separate conversation that must be had perhaps at a different date about the goal and responsibility of the media and how far journalism has fallen. Ooh, this is so deeply frustrating, dude. This is so deeply frustrating. The audacity. You are not an uncritical stenographer. Exactly, chatter. I'm an uncritical stenographer for power. A journalist. Like, that's not your job. Your job is to be a journalist. What the fuck? That analogy about looking out the damned window leaps the mind. Exactly. The analogy that this person is bringing up is the job of journalists is not to just say, oh, it's raining outside. It's to fucking look out and confirm it. When someone tells you it's raining outside, if you're a reporter, your job is to literally open the fucking window, look out and see if it actually is raining before you report it. That is part of your job. That is your job. What is going on? Yeah, or when one side tells you it's sunny and another side says it's raining, it's not your job to report both equally. It's your job to look outside and confirm whether it is raining or not. Seeing the liberals replying to the most bloodthirsty comments on the Next Twitter account, the Ukraine news site, is so jarring and shocking. Yeah, I really did think for a brief moment that maybe Ukrainians, not just Ukrainians, but like those who support Ukraine, would be able to comprehend the similarities, I guess. And nope, not at all. Not even, they didn't even skip a beat. They immediately were like, Russia is exactly like Gaza. Ukraine needs that U.S. money. Yeah, that's really funny that you're saying that because they went from, in the words of Gunther, okay, not me, NATO's greatest champion, a wonderful account that I only recently started following because I originally thought it's like, I'm not going to fucking follow every Chapo character that they find because, like, who cares? But honestly, Felix was right. Gunther is an incredible follow. Gunther Fehlinger, okay? In the words of Gunther Fehlinger, why are we taking money away from a defensive war in Ukraine to give it to an offensive war for Israel? That's what he said. That's what he said. He was like, this is... he was like, this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. All the funds should keep flowing into Ukraine. That's a defensive war. And instead of like an offensive revenge war. Rare Gunther DLC unlocked. Zell Disney dick riding the US and NATO is hilarious because they've already made it clear that they're like, the funds are not endless, brother. Okay. You're not always getting these funds. And some of these funds got to go to Israel. Okay. And he's championing that right now. So, good luck. Gunther is the best dude. Literally one of the top 5 funniest people on Twitter. I followed him after he started doing all his Balkan maps for BRICS members. Yeah, no, he is a fucking hilarious guy. He's always so happy. He loves NATO so much. He's been NATO's greatest champion because like he's made me sympathetic. Where's the one where he talks about the French? Oh, here. French trains are the best in Europe. You eat a sandwich, fall asleep. 2 hours later, you arrive. 500 kilometers done for 110 euro. Welcome to Strasbourg, the capital of European democracy. I want the same for all Europeans. Wait, this is not the one. Hold on. There was another one. Hold on. Goodbye, Paris. I love to be back. Here's my offer. Send tanks and airplanes to Ukraine. Now fast. And we make Paris the capital of the free world with strong OECD. Deal? And he added Emmanuel Macron. Where is the one where he shits on the French speaking French? That one is the funniest. Hold on. God, it's always great because it's like, he always tweets like this. He's fucking adorable, even though he's a bloodthirsty monster overall. He literally wants to partition. He wants to partition Russia, which is like a completely psychotic thing to hope for, to go for, you know what I mean? But even then, I'm like, man, I love you so much. French, I love you, but please speak English to your guests. Nobody understands French. The free world speaks English. He also wants a 3-state solution for Israel-Palestine. He's a no opinion head. No opinion. My favorite guy who just learned about Israel-Palestine. Just constantly writing articles, openly demonstrating that he has no fucking clue what's going on, but he writes it in a way where people just go, man, he sure is spitting. Guys, there aren't people out there with deep knowledge of the issue and the historical context necessary to deliver adequate analysis on the circumstances. Just fucking let him cook. He found out why Egypt won't allow refugees like recently. So he's cooking. He's cooking. He's just killing it. Three-state solution, Israel, Palestine, NATO. What does this motherfucker learn about Gaza this week and follows up with this? When liberals say we want to end Israeli apartheid, we mean freedom of movement and self-rule for the West Bank. When leftists say we want to end Israeli apartheid, they mean ethnic cleansing of Israelis. It is important to understand this distinction. Wow. All of the Jewish, Christian, Muslim activists that have been actively both on the ground and in the Western world for years and years talking about ending the apartheid were actually totally fucking just secretly trying to do ethnic cleansing. But no opinion who learned about fucking Israel and Palestine like last week, he knows the truth. He knows what he means. He knows what that actually means. Jesus Christ, dude. This guy, what a fucking joke. Motherfucker mainlines like 3 YouTube videos and thinks he's like the expert of this issue. We got to stop Substacks, okay? I am willing to do a nuclear disarmament agreement. I will stop Twitch streaming politics if everyone that writes a Substack without any fucking prior knowledge whatsoever, shut the fuck up and stop writing Substacks. That's it. Denuclearization across the board. I'm willing. I'm able. I feel like I will take this L. What the fuck am I doing here? Let's move on. Oh, this was funny. I saw this as well. First, they came for the LGBTQ, and I stood up because love is love. Then they came for the immigrants, and I stood up because families belong together. Then they came for the black community, and I stood up because Black Lives Matter. Then they came for me, but I stood alone because I am a Jew. Bro, with the exception of like 18 politicians in the United States of America right now, every single politician has been like, we must ethnically cleanse from the river to the sea the entire land of the Muslim Palestinian scourge, okay? Like unequivocally, across the board. And Amy Schumer's like, I can't believe how alone I am right now in this moment. Felix says, on a basic level, you're being asked to think that Amy Schumer's life has been less fair and more difficult than someone who has spent their entire life in Gaza and lived through 2008 and 9, 2013 and 2014, 2021, and this. I'm sorry. We're putting a shutdown on all people that are not involved centering this issue around themselves, okay? As a Jew, finding out Amy Schumer's Jewish now might be the most difficult moment of my life. Dude, if I'm a part of the fucking Hasbara, if I'm a part of the Hasbara operations, I'm literally trying to figure out how to stop Amy Schumer from posting. If you are on board with the Zionist cause, the amount of damage that Amy Schumer could make to your cause, the amount of damage that Amy Schumer single-handedly is dealing to any kind of propaganda operations in the Western world is just unimaginable. Oh, by the way, the chatter who said, I can't believe I just found out Amy Schumer's Jewish. Well, wait till you find out who she's related to. Right. Another person with the same last name who happens to be the majority leader in the Senate. Good old Chuck, baby. Good old Cuck. Oh my God. 33,000 people just found out something really funny. What is this? This man is, oh God, I hate these videos, man. This man is a 95-year-old Ezra Yachin. He was part of the Stern Gang, terrorist group that participated in the ethnic cleansing of the 1948 Nakba. Erased them, erased their families, their mothers and children. These animals can no longer live. Nowadays, we have no excuse. Hezbollah tomorrow can send airstrikes on us. Bro, this guy is being kept alive by the hate in his heart. I swear to God. Bro, come on, dog. You've already gotten enough kills. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
תכנס בהם לפני שיפעילו את הטילים שלהם. אל תחכה שיפגיעו ותיקח את כיפת הברזל. כנס לפני זה.
It's so sad that this fucking animal is alive at 95 and like Israeli babies inside of a fucking kibbutz are dead now and hundreds of Palestinian children are burned alive under Israeli shell fire. Like, those people deserve to be alive. This person has lived such a long fucking life, dude. Like, that's insane. You're just how do you keep it going? Like, I don't get it. Oh wait, is this the Lehi massacre guy? Oh, this is him. Yeah, Ezra Yachin at 95 is IDF's oldest reservist. He's been drafted to the reserves to boost morale by talking with soldiers. That's how he boosts morale, by talking. My grandfather was sent at age 21 to seize this guy's weapons and bury bodies of innocent Palestinians of Deir Yassin, only friendly to Jews before Lehi's massacre. My grandfather waited for news of criminal charges until he realized no justice was coming. I'm gonna be honest. If this guy said that you know this ancient land belongs to the Jews, I believe him, because like he probably was there. You know what I mean? He looks like he was there when he looks like he was there before the Romans, dog. Okay, so if he says it, maybe he's right. Okay, god damn, dude, holy shit, dude, hatred is such a good motivator to bro predates Israel. Bro predates Israel by 20 years, ego tripping. He doesn't just predate Israel. He predates Israel by 20 years. Bro knew Moses personally. He was there when the seas parted. He was like, damn, can't believe you pulled that shit off. That's wild. He was lost in the desert, dude. Yeah, he dabbed Moses up. I want to point to something that I hear so frequently, by the way, by people who think that this is like an easy own when they're like, lol, imagine like being, imagine saying queers for Palestine. That's like saying black people for a KKK. Bill Maher made that joke. Many people have made similar jokes like this. I don't know why people say stuff like this because it is so unimaginably stupid. I do not care if someone agrees with me or not. Like my goal for emancipation and the goals of others out there who defend Palestinian emancipation is not because like they give a shit. They want to ensure that those people are free regardless. That's what you're supposed to do. Also, of course, there are still plenty of queer people who live in Palestine. It's fucking ridiculous. It is a ridiculous thing to say. This is a thing that I will never understand personally, okay? That's why I always advocate for Medicare for all. I'm not saying Medicare for all except for dudes with fucked vibes, okay? It's not free education for everyone and Medicare for all except for dudes that have wronged me that I feel shitty about. Or Medicare for all except Nazis. Like, it's not like that, okay? Everyone deserves this. Everyone deserves freedom. Everyone deserves emancipation. Everyone deserves not to live under a fucking occupation. It doesn't matter what their perspective is. It doesn't matter who they voted for. It doesn't matter what they think. The goal is to make conditions so egalitarian that it is impossible for reactionary sentiments to be expressed. That is how you soften and starve out those who have reactionary points of view. That is not an own. It is simply a demonstration of your distorted values, that your support for someone is conditional. That's all you're doing when you go, dude, imagine being gay and supporting Palestine, you fucking stupid idiot. It's like, yeah, okay, well, I think you fail to recognize that like you're just openly admitting that you don't give a shit unless these people have good vibes and are in agreement with you. Not being able to comprehend that speaks to one's view, one's ability to empathize with others, and it speaks to how Americans view international conflicts as blood sport. Yeah, dude, and I see a lot of people saying like Ethan. Okay, let me clarify something here. I've talked about this yesterday. I talked about the day before as well, brother. Have some fucking exercise a little bit of fucking critical thinking here. Who are your enemies? Who are the people who are like actively trying to suppress you? Who are people who understand your plight or understand your cause? Is it the guy who cried thinking about a Palestinian child in the hands of that was eliminated by Israeli rocket fire, who of course is emotional in the circumstance, but is doing his very best, who apologized for making a similar joke immediately afterwards? Or is it the endless amount of misinformation that you're seeing from mainstream media? Have your fucking smoke and keep it for those who actually put the energy to bullying you and to stopping you from saying the truth. Having an endless amount of anger against those who are like literally your allies is silly as fuck. But it's of course it's the classic fucking self-defeating cycle. It's the classic self-defeating cycle that leftists love engaging in: sectarian violence and infighting for no particular reason other than like maybe getting some fucking hits in, maybe getting a couple licks in. Be charitable, be patient, recognize those who you can turn into allies for your cause. Massive crowd of Jewish New Yorkers assembling to refuse U.S.-backed Israeli attacks on Gaza. Not in our names,
In
no
an
Gaza genocide.
open-air prison where 2.2 million people live, almost half of whom are children. They are now without food and water and electricity and fuel, and they are being bombed. They are being rained down on with white phosphorus. They are trapped. This is genocide. As Jewish New Yorkers, we are here to say, not in our names.
I mean, this is great. There's more Palestine rallies in New York Times. I mean, not New York Times, Times Square. Look at this thread of the state of Northern Ireland politics on this. The Protestant community of Northern Ireland stands strongly with the IDF and the people of Israel. God bless. Yeah, no shit. That is the least surprising thing. Brother, are you familiar with the Protestant community in Northern Ireland? Go look at the fucking wall where they defend the Confederacy. No, Northern Ireland Protestants are literally openly antagonistic to anti-colonial action, which is hilarious to just say that out loud because like that's why they exist. But also on top of that, they just like they ride for it. Do you guys know what the fuck I'm talking about with the wall that has like openly defending slavers wall that they have? Rebels Without a Cause, the Confederate flag in Ireland. Oh, here it is, the Sons of Ulster, who led the Confederate Army during the War of Northern Aggression. What are you saying? It's so much funnier because it's Northern Ireland. Yes. It's also funny because, like, there were Irishmen on both sides of that war, but they're choosing to ride with the Confederacy because they're just so, they're such rabid supporters of any kind of, like, anything bad throughout history. They're like, we ride for you. This narrative is so insidious. Oh, they voted for Hamas. Hamas won the last election in 2006. Even they got only a plurality, not a majority. They've ruled as a dictatorship since, refusing to hold elections. This narrative is so insidious. I wouldn't be okay to bomb Gaza if 100% of Palestinians supported Hamas. It also downplays Palestinian support for resistance. They have issues with Hamas when it comes to things like governance, corruption, etc. They support Hamas because it fights Israel. Plus, the polling is just bogus, and he's lying about refusing to hold elections. It's the PA and Israel that have kept new elections from happening. Yeah. For the record, the stupid thing is that, like, the last election, Hamas won the last election in 2006. It's like, okay, how many people were adults and how many of those people that voted for Hamas were alive, are still alive? How many of the people that are currently being bombed are fucking children? Is it really true that Hamas would hold elections but Israel stops them? It's one part of it, Israel collaborating with the Palestinian Authority. And the reality is that this level of violence that Israel has brought upon the Palestinian population has also led the Palestinian population into the only form of armed struggle against the Israeli state, which happens to be Hamas. But it does not matter. There is no world in which like full-fledged genocidal actions are justifiable. Starving children is unjustifiable. Starving adults is unjustifiable. Okay? Let me take it one step further. Starving the Gaza Strip is unjustifiable. It's just completely and utterly unjustifiable. We're not in this business to fucking talk about like what level of genocidal behavior is acceptable and morally permissible by those who are not even involved in this struggle in any capacity from thousands of miles away. It's just so ridiculous. The real way to end this violence is by shutting off the violence itself. And you have to look at who the root cause, where the violence actually comes from. And oftentimes it's difficult to recognize that because that violence is legal. Well, in the case of Israel, it's also illegal, but we turn a blind eye to that anyway. It's state violence that we are conditioned into thinking is legal. That is the issue.